Okay, so now I have this lovely staff, and the next thing I need is a treble clef, which I showed you how to draw before. So I'm going to talk you through it again, but I'm not going to do it twice like I did in another video. I'm just going to draw it and talk you through it, and then if you need to pause, you can. Remember, the treble clef starts by making a little spiral that begins by encircling the second from the bottom line. So put your writing utensil right underneath that line and start a spiral going around, touches the bottom line. When you get to about here, you take a little pause, because there, what's going to happen? You're going to take a little turn this way to the right, and then you're going to hook it over. There's the little swan that my teacher used to talk about. Adorable. And then we go straight down through our previous work and make a little hook at the bottom. I swear this is important. I have this cat, and this cat is truly wonderful. His favorite thing in life is food. There's going to be a picture of him somewhere in here. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it, but you'll see him. He is the definition of a fat cat, truly. And it makes him snuggly and adorable and wonderful. But for the thing I'm about to show you, it's good to have a little visual. All right, I know that seemed unimportant, but when we read a key signature is this part at the beginning of the line of music. Generally, every line will have the key signature printed on it. And in the key signature, the composer is going to tell you which notes should be sharp or flat. And if it says nothing about that note, then that note should be natural. For just a moment, let's consider your diagram over here. Let's pretend like a composer has put an F sharp, only an F sharp in the key signature. What would that mean? That would mean that on the D string, you put your second finger on the tape, right? But if there was no C sharp in the key signature, what would that mean? It would mean you have to put your second finger not on the tape, okay? We're going to come back to that later, but this is why we're doing it. And I always like to tell people why we're doing something. Those sharps are always going to go in the same order, always. Never a different order. But that order is going to feel a little bit random until you memorize it and understand fully why it goes in that order. So until you have reached that level of theory understanding, there is a sentence to help you remember the order of sharps in the key signature. And quite frankly, I still like to use the sentence even though I completely understand why the key signature is arranged the way that it is. So that sentence goes, fat cats go down alleys eating burritos. Now you can decide what your fat cat is eating. I said burritos, but my students pick their own word. So some of their cats eat bacon, some of them eat beef, some of them eat birthday cake. One of them said that their fat cat goes down alleys eating bows, like a violin bow, which sounds very uncomfortable, but hey, they get to pick their own thing. Your cat might eat bananas or birds. It could be anything, but it has to start with a B. Okay, so first we're going to write the sentence, but we're going to write it a little bit funny. Okay, so we're going to write the word going vertically like this. Okay, so watch how I do it. Fat is F-A-T, right? F, and then I'm going to keep going this way. A-T. So it's the word fat, but it's going straight down like this. Okay, all right, hopefully you copied that. So now the next one is cats. C-A-T-S. Ironically, I can hear him coming right now through the cat door. All right, go. That's easy. G-O. Down. D-O-W-N. Alleys. Okay, let's spell it first and I'll tell you what it is. Alleys. A-L-L-E-Y-S. S. Well, what is an alley? It's a narrow space between two buildings, and you can picture my fat cat going down the alley between two buildings, looking for a little trash to eat, or maybe a rat. He's actually a pretty good bat catcher for what it's worth. Fat cats go down alleys eating. E-A-T-I-N-G. And now we need a B, and you get to fill in whatever bee food your cat eats. Birds, bats, birthday cake, burritos, bacon, beef, bologna. What do you think your fat cat eats? Mine loves burritos, weirdly, so I'm putting that. Burritos. He's a cat who loves carbs, what can I say? Okay, so sharps will always go in this order. If there's one sharp, it's always F. If there are two sharps, it's always F and C in that order. Okay, you can see how adamant I was about that. It's important to remember it in the right order. Okay, now, here's what that looks like on the staff. We already learned in a previous video that that top line of the staff is an F. Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. Top line is an F. So the F sharp that tells you to play F sharps in your piece is always going to go around that line. And much like notes go with the line going right through them, that sharp sign has to be positioned so that the line is going right through the middle of it. So here's how you draw that. You put in your vertical lines first, okay? And then when you put in your horizontal lines, you make sure that that line is visible in the space. So there's my sharp, that line is going through it. It's on the line that represents F, fat. That means every F in the piece is played as an F sharp. Now, for the most part, you've probably been playing F sharps, but if you've learned how to play a low 2, then on the D string, you would have to decide, well, am I playing high 2 or low 2? If it's an F sharp, you're playing high 2. If it's an F natural, you're playing low 2. That's how the key signature becomes useful. Let me show you how the rest of these are positioned, and we'll work on using it another time. When a composer wants F and C sharp, the C goes in this space, F-A-C. So when you're putting it in the space, you put in your vertical lines first, you put in your horizontal lines so that the center of the sharp is highlighting that space. No line going through your sharp, okay? The G sharp sits on top of the line. Put in your vertical lines, put in your sharp so that the line is not going through the middle of it. The D, we're aiming for this second line from the top. So we put in our vertical lines, and then we draw our horizontal line so that the line is going right through that sharp. Over here, I drew this one kind of big, but the bulk of the sharp has nothing in it because it's in the space. This one has a line going through it, okay? Alleys, we start using the lower part of the staff here just because it fits better. So we're trying to put a sharp where this space is. We draw our vertical lines, horizontal lines, big open sharp right there. That represents A sharp. E, that one goes in this upper space, like where the E string is. And finally, the B goes right on this middle line. All right, let's decide if you were paying attention. What if a piece has two sharps? What are they? F and C. What if a piece has three sharps? Well, it's F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. We'll talk more about applying them later, but you need to remember this sentence first. Okay, that's it for today. We're going to come back to this booklet in our next video. See you then.